Hello, whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. Is this beautiful or what? I'm having a wee bit of a ski holiday with my family, and it's been 3 years, and I have to be honest, we just came from the slopes, and my knees are killing me. But what better way to revive yourself than having a good dram? And now you'd be forgiven for thinking that I would try an Austrian whiskey. I'm not even sure that exists. Or a French or a German whiskey. Or no, we're going for a tropical whiskey. We're going to Tel Aviv. And that, of course, means we're going to be trying another malt from the Milk and Honey distillery. And just a few weeks ago, they got all these awards, so they're very proud. Well, I'm very proud too, because what we will be trying today is a single cask that was bottled by the Barrel Baron, my good friend Marcel Kip in the Netherlands. But I was fortunate enough to have a hand in the selection of this Milk and Honey single cask. And you will remember that this is in fact not the first single barrel that the Barrel Baron bottled. Now, you may even remember I did a little video in Toulouse way back in May 2022 when I presented you the first single barrel that was presented by Marcel Kip. Now, this one was another type of cask. This time around, this single cask is an ex-Islay cask. In other words, the young spirit of the Milk and Honey distillery matured for 4 years on an ex-Islay cask. Now, you might think 4 years, that's quite young, isn't it? And basically it is. But then you have the Tel Aviv climate to put into account. They have very hot summers, of course. And a 4-year-old in Tel Aviv, well, that's like a 15-year-old in Scotland, maturation-wise. So, and please take note of the ABV of this young Milk and Honey. 67.5% ABV. 67.5% ABV. Now, you might be thinking, at what strength did they put it in the cask? Well, at 63.5. But it's so hot there that water evaporates before alcohol, and so the alcohol increases. Wow, let's give this one a go. The Milk and Honey 2018 for the Barrel Baron on an ex-Islay cask at 67.5% ABV on the nose. Oh, this is delicious. It nicely keeps the middle between sweet and peaty. The peat is there, but it is definitely not in your face. On the one hand, I get lots of vanilla, buttercups, some marzipan, even some apple cake, but also some pineapple and even some grapefruit. So it is flirting with the tropics, to be honest. And on the other hand, potpourri, ferns, a delicious sweet and sour smokiness, somewhat subdued, like I said, but it is there. And that betrays the Scottish Mecca where this cask came from. But this is absolutely amazing. And the alcohol, it doesn't burn your nostrils at all. So I don't think I need to add any water here, but let's find out on the palate. If approached with caution, you really don't, it does not burn at all. I'm not gasping for breath or anything. This is perfectly integrated. Despite the 67.5% ABV, if you approach it with the necessary respect and you give your saliva glands the chance to put themselves to work, this is perfectly quaffable without a single drop of water. Now, taste-wise, it is, of course, a big kick to the teeth, but it is not insurmountable, like I said. It is perfectly integrated. And while the former barrel, the Islay barrel, actually does give some phenolic influence here, it does give this malt a beautiful layer of smokiness, it also gets an almost agrum-like touch. You know, like the white meat of a pink grapefruit. That's what I'm getting on the palate here, on the back of the throat. Grapefruit, lime juice, and they take on young apples, juicy pears, and a single lost apricot. There is so much going on here. It's pretty amazing for such a young whiskey. The Milk and Honey distillery has again delivered a fantastic whiskey. I'm not going to add any water at all. So, the finish. The finish. With a capital F. This is the absolute pinnacle of this malt, to be honest. This is an absolute taste sensation. It lingers and lingers, and it is a fine continuation of the palate with all those fruity notes, agrum-like notes, almost tropical fruit, and then some herbal notes as well, some ferns in there. But the smokiness that lingers, even though it is in the background. The smoke here plays second fiddle, as it should, because of course this isn't an Islay whiskey. It is a Tel Aviv Israeli whiskey that matured on a Islay cask. Only 4 years old, 67.5% ABV. Ah, Marcel, you did it again. And I was happy that I was able to try a couple of cask samples for Marcel. And he said, what would you do? What would you do? And I said, this is the one. This is the one. And he said, I'm glad you agree. And here we are a few months later. The Milk and Honey 2018 for the Barrel Baron. Another outstanding single malt. And that's all for this Whiskey Rambling. And I hope to see you at one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the malt be with you. Bye-bye.